she realized, well, those were my hobbies. Now they're going to think that I do all those things, which I don't. And so she was very concerned that now Social Security is going to think one thing because she put it on the form. And that's probably true. It is going to come across that way. And so we talked about how we can kind of fix that. And she was really grateful for that experience. And that for her, that was like, yes, I need the help.
Right.
So that was just kind of a success story with those videos and how they can really benefit somebody.
One of the things too with the videos that and why we made them, and there's videos on our website, there's videos on the YouTube channel too, where we have mock hearings. We have, like John and I did a video on what a pre-hearing conference looks like, conversations I have with clients before we go to court. But one of the things I realized is going through those forms, if I was to sit down with a client, welcome to the Evans Disability Podcast. We hope to be your definitive guide through the Social Security Administration landscape. I'm Peter Evans, your host and managing partner at Evans Disability, a law firm that handles disability cases throughout the United States. Before we dive into today's episode, I want to mention a special resource for our listeners. Click the link below to receive a free SSA disability guide from Evans Disability. This guide is packed with details on SSA disability programs, expert tips for winning your case, and sample questions from actual disability hearings. Join me as I sit down with special guests, including experienced lawyers, our extremely well-trained staff, and even a former Social Security law judge. If you find our content useful, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to stay updated on our latest discussions. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And I think so many people, they trust that, oh, I've ordered these medical records and they're still not here, but they're just like, oh, I think if you're a claimant and you're ordering your own medical records, you may not even think you need to follow up like until like, oh man, it's been a couple months. Oh, where's my medical records? Right.
Right.
So that is an issue.
Or maybe you think that your my chart is the same as your medical records, which it's not. And that's a big thing too. I mean, we could go on and on about medical records themselves.
Right. Yes. Is there anything else like what that you tell claimants about? So we talked about attorney fees. What about other expectations, like things that maybe clients that hire our firm, kind of what they can hope and expect from us? Not even hope, but expect from us.
I really like to make sure people have set expectations of our communication, because like I said, we might not always say every little thing that we've done to work on their case, but we are always accessible by email, by phone. We also have a portal, an internal portal system where you can upload documents, you can send messages. On our website, we've
like a My Chart, where it's the legal version of My Chart.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. I never really thought of it that way, but yeah, that's exactly right. So that's super convenient for a lot of people who have access to the internet and things like that. And then we have a system on our website where you can schedule an appointment to speak with somebody from our office if you have maybe more legal question, something a little bit more in depth that you might not be able to get the information from a legal assistant. So we have lots of ways to contact us. We will also update you depending on where your case is at every few months. And that update includes where is your case at? And then do you have any questions? Do you have any updates for us? And that's something we've recently implemented, which I think is above and beyond. I don't think there's a lot of firms or attorneys that really take the time to do that.
Right.
And analyze the case and make sure things are on track. And we are constantly working to make sure all of our claimants are moving along. And it's Social Security, so nothing's ever going to be perfect. And we have learned from experience on how to try and get as close to perfect as possible, which usually just means doing a lot of follow-up. And sometimes that follow-up goes really far down the line, but we're willing to do it because we want to add value. and because of what our mission is. So I mean, that's just a really important thing that I want people to know, is that we actually do care.
Yeah.
And we even spend weekly hours training not just new people that work with us, but I mean, like people like me. I do a weekly training, maybe bi-weekly, on things that I still am learning. And that's because we want to add more value, not just to our office, but to our clients.
Right.
I just think that I really believe in that's important, and that shows that we care, because we really do. We could do a lot less and still kind of get by as a business. But I definitely think of this as more than a business, more than a law firm. Like, we really are helping people. And that's just, I believe in it. So I try to get that across to people. And usually I think people feel it. But if you don't feel it, if you don't feel taken care of, and you don't feel like it's a good fit, then maybe it's not a good fit. Right. And that's okay too.
Yeah. I mean, and that's you make a lot of great points. I think first and foremost, like, I've shaken people's hand that they want to talk to their lawyer once a week, because they're used to that sort of. Some people come in and they've had lawyers that they've paid by the hour that they can talk to once a week or once a month or once every other week. And that's okay. That's not who we are. We kind of work as a team. We definitely work as a team. I think when it comes to the hearing aspect, once we're holding hearings and doing that, I mean, we have a former Social Security law judge on staff who does hearings for folks for us. Every one of our lawyers has at least, I mean, the average experience of our lawyers, I think, is 20 years, of doing Social Security work. If you were to average it all out, 20 to 30 years of work, with thousands and if not tens of thousands of cases under our belt at this point. But we're not always the right fit for everyone. If someone wants to talk to their lawyer every day, I just tell them I can't meet your expectation. I just can't do it. I can't talk to you every day. But I love, like, the aspect of, you're right, because one of our goals, if not expectations internally in communication, is that we get back to people same day, but no later than the next business day. And I'm constantly in firm-wide meetings and team meetings checking in. Where are we at on voicemails and phone calls and emails and portal messages? And then one of the things we implemented this last year was the Calendly appointment through our website for current clients. They can just go in and make an appointment with one of our non-attorney reps, who's a registered representative with Social Security and basically practice law within Social Security. And and they do hearings and applications and appeals and all of it. So, and take a deeper look at cases at that level too. So there's a lot of different ways our clients can communicate with us. And then we think about communication, and I think about communication on two fronts. There's reactive, which is kind of what we're talking about. Like, we're reacting to the client reaching out to us via email, phone call, portal, Calendly, Smokefire, whatever. And then there's proactive, which what you kind of talked about a little bit, where we're proactively reaching out to our clients, depending on what level their case is at, but every 60 to 90 days, in that sort of window, 2 to 3 months, when these cases on average are taking 3 years. That's the average time frame for a case, is 3 years. We're proactively, either via email, phone call, text, sending a update to our clients between 60 to 90 days. And again, depends on what level they're at. So that's exciting too, because I feel like that proactive and reactive communication happen in all businesses that are in the service industry, and we want to be top notch. So that's what our firm does. I don't know what other firms do. Maybe they do it quicker, but we represent people all over the country as well. So there's that aspect too. So we're, and I think we do it very, very well. But yeah, I think you're right. Proactive, reactive communication. Some of the other things we do for new clients, just to let them know is we have a lot of resources as well, not only just with our staff that can help answer tons of questions for people in kind of the communication we talked about, but also on our website. Maybe you could talk a little bit about just kind of what you tell folks about kind of the resources that they can get from help from us on digital.
Yeah, we have videos that actually you've recorded going through forms. I mean, there's tons of forms that Social Security sends out. The one thing about having an attorney, there's a lot that we do, but there's some things that we can't do. We can't fill out a work activity report for somebody. That's something that the client will have to do themselves. We've thought a lot about it because we understand that people might not really understand the questions, or they need help, or they think, why isn't my attorney doing this? Well, there's just questions that we're not going to know the answers to. So that's why we created videos, on how-to videos. That's exactly what it sounds like. You watch the video, you go through it, like the form, what it looks like, why they're asking certain questions. And then that's super helpful for our clients. So they can go through, watch that video, and then fill out the form. And then if they're still having trouble, they can call us and set up an appointment. And of course, we're going to still help with that. So those videos are really a huge help, I think, because those forms can really affect somebody's case. So understanding why a question's asked. I even just had somebody that we just took on. She already started the application before she hired us, and she came to us with a denial. And one of the things that she was really worried about was on her adult function report. One of the questions was asking about, what are your hobbies? And, she thought, well, my hobbies are, and she listed all of her hobbies. But after watching the video, she realized, well, those were my hobbies. Now they're going to think that I do all those things, which I don't. And so she was very concerned that now Social Security is going to think one thing because she put it on the form. And that's probably true. It is going to come across that way. And so we talked about how we can kind of fix that. And she was really grateful for that experience. And that for her, that was like, yes, I need the help.
Right.
So that was just kind of a success story with those videos and how they can really benefit somebody.
One of the things too with the videos and why we made them, and there's videos on our website, there's videos on the YouTube channel too, where we have mock hearings. We have, like John and I did a video on what a pre-hearing conference looks like, conversations I have with clients before we go to court. But one of the things I realized is going through those forms, if I was to sit down with a client and do it, it would take us about 2 hours. It's exhausting.
Yeah.
It's exhausting for the client. It's exhausting for me. It can be a 2 to 2.5 hour experience just to fill out a form. When you have clients and you give them a resource that they are in control of the time, meaning they can just watch it for 10 to 15 minutes, take a break, get back to it the next day, at their own pace. Or if they zone out and weren't listening, it's why I appreciate videos. I can just rewind, I can re-listen. But if you're stuck in an appointment with me, it's not like we can just rewind. I mean, you can ask questions, but it's kind of like you can't just constantly rewind. So I hope it's a great resource for folks. I've gotten almost nothing but positive feedback, actually. So I feel good about it. So yeah, we have both YouTube videos, and then we have resources on our website. So yeah, I wanted to ask you too, what about a client who hasn't applied and they need help with their application? Walk me through that.
That's another service that we offer that I feel